be on my YouTube channel. And so you will have this to go back on. Now, if you are a note taker, please by all means take notes. I'm a note taker, but just know that you will have this handy. So first things first about client maintenance, you have to have them organized. Yes, Jeff.
Sorry, I just had one question.
Yes.
I have one particular need today. I wanted to ask you, Jackie, are we going to
Yep.
have time for Q&A?
Yep. I always
Oh,
make time at the end. So yes,
okay,
absolutely.
perfect.
100%.
Thank you.
No problem. So the main thing about your clients is you have to know how they're organized. So the easiest way to do it inside of kvCORE is through hashtags. Other different CRMs have things called labels or different things like that. But in kvCORE, the way that we organize them is with hashtags. The most important thing is never use that pound symbol. And Bella, you do not look like you were born in the 1900s. So that is the hashtag symbol. Okay. So I said pound sound one time and they were like, what's that? And I was like, oh, I just showed my age. But anyhow, and the other thing that I found is do not use special characters. So don't use an at sign or an exclamation or anything like that, just straight words. The cool thing about this is once you have them labeled with hashtags, you can create what are called saved filters. Saved filters are a way that your contacts will be organized up at the top. When I jump into my kvCORE, you'll be able to see that. But now I can send out mass emails or schedule an email out to a specific group. Hashtags are also how I trigger campaigns with inside of kvCORE. And so when I do that, I'm able to see. Oh. All right. Then I'm also able to see like who's attached to that. Excuse me. And then I'm going to also talk about setting up property alerts a little bit as well. So let me jump into kvCORE. So this is my kvCORE. When I go into my dashboard, this is where you should always start every single morning, is here in your dashboard. I've talked about this a little bit on a couple other videos, but I wanted to make sure that I always reiterate this every single time. You should, and I always, people say time block. Time blocking as a real estate agent is an unrealistic task, okay? Because you have no idea what's going to happen from day to day. A transaction that's going smoothly could now not go smoothly. 2 weeks ago, we walked in and our seller was had passed away, and we were the first people to find her. That's not something that you can really time block for. Okay, so my point is set aside a priority that every day for 30 minutes, I'm going to get into my kvCORE and just plug it in whenever it's appropriate based on what you have going on that day. Maybe it's in the beginning of the morning. If you're one of those like 5 a.m. wake up people, I am not. I'm more of a night owl. So because I have all these kids, once they go to bed, this is when I get in here. And now it helps me to have purpose for my following day. When I get in here, right here, it's going to have all activity. That bothers me. If you click the drop down menu, I can go to property views and now I can see every single person who's in my system who has viewed a house. I can go back as far as I want in the history. So let me go ahead and go to property views. And I will tell you, my kvCORE is for training and agent attraction. My husband's is production, so I may not have a whole lot in here. But I see in the past week, I've had, well, not that bad. About 15 people who've looked at a property. Now you'll notice most of them are looking at this one. The reason why there's so many people who are looking at this property is all of these people are people who live in my neighborhood. And this home is it's a brand new listing in the neighborhood. And so I have all of them set up on a property alert. So that way they get to see anything that's in the neighborhood that's new. Because if I do an open house, who's the first people who walk through the door? Neighbors, because they're nosy, right? So what I do with this information is now it tells me how are people looking at the home. So most of these are all on their computer. This person looked at it twice though, and so did this person. Now, a lot of times what I would do is I would call them like, oh, you want to go buy the house? They own a house. So instead of saying that, I would say, I noticed that you viewed our newest listing in Sun Groves. Who do you know that might be interested in the property? So that way I'm not assuming, hey, let me list your house and let me get both sides of it. Let me sell it and then help you buy. I'm going to say, hey, I noticed that you viewed the property in our neighborhood. Who do you know that this might be a good fit for? More people are likely to say something. But the cool thing is I can go down here and I can load older ones. So this was 2 months ago. So I can go back and I can see ones from past that. if you see this where it says photo coming soon, that is a lie. It's fake news. It's not coming soon. What it is, it's already off the market. And so that one's not on there. Oh, no worries, Sasha. She had to go. It's okay. You'll still get the video recording. The next thing that I'm going to look at in this drop down is anyone who's had questions. When they go to your IDX website, they can actually ask you a question directly on there and it'll show up here. You're also going to get a message or an email from kvCORE, so you don't have to worry about missing anything. I just always go there just in case because it's technology. Showing requests. Yes, when you are sending out squeeze pages, whether it's a single property or multi-property, or if someone's on your website, they can request a showing. That doesn't do anything through showing time. All it does is tell you their availability. Valuations are super important. So we just actually had a appraiser come in and talk about appraisal adjustments and like how the CMA like really is not all that's cracked up to be and how to do it better. But the home evaluations through our website are not gospel. They're not. Okay. So when I look through to see who has requested evaluation, what I'm doing with that information is not just going, oh, maybe they want to sell their house. It's me creating now something that is very authentic, saying this is the value of the house. Here are some comps. Maybe I'm creating some type of file that is 100% mine that now I can send out to them. Obvious new leads, because you want to make sure that you're staying in contact with them. Text, you can look on the computer, but also on the mobile app. If you download the mobile app, you can see all the text message and correspondence, and you can text back and forth, so you don't have to be in front of your computer. But the best thing is email events. So does anybody do or plan to do email marketing? All right, so email marketing is the most cost-effective way to get in front of people because one, you're not paying for paper, two, you're not paying for postage. So email events is going to tell you who is opening your emails and who is actually clicking on the links. So it's going to show you in real time who opened the emails, not just who it was sent to, but it's only going to show you who opened. So one of the things that this does is it opens the line of communication to be able to start a conversation. So let's say that I have 10 nurtured buyers, right? These are buyers that want to buy a house. They want to buy it with me, but for whatever reason, they're paused for just a moment. Okay. So if I see that they are opening my emails of property alerts, it's a reminder for me to just touch them and say, hey, guess what? I'm still here. So I can go through here. I can write all these names down. I can send them text messages on my phone if I want to send it from my personal number, or I can send it through the system. And that way I'm just saying like, hey, you know what? I thought about you today and I just wanted to see how things were going. How are the kids? How's, if they're relocating, how's that going? How's the job hunt going? Have you spoke to the lender lately? Whatever it is. So that way I can just stay in front of them. So it's taken a minute because I send out probably about 30,000 emails a week. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's a numbers game and I like to close a lot and I like to help my husband and our team close a lot. So I send out a crap ton of emails. So like this one right here, this was a just listed. This is in that neighborhood. 12 hours ago, they opened the email. This one opened the email. This one clicked the email. So Tracy not only opened the email of this property, but she clicked and viewed one of the properties. So I'm going to go ahead and click view the email. So that way I can see exactly what she was using. Wow, that's a colorful room. That is really distracting. I would want to see the pictures too, because that is very colorful. So I don't know which one she looked at. She either looked at this one or this one. But one of the things I noticed is this home is in Tempe, Arizona, and this one is in Chandler, Arizona. Looks like this one's 4 bedrooms. This one's 2 bedrooms. And I could be wrong, but I think this is also in an age-restricted community. So one of the things that I would do is I'm going to make sure that I reach out to Tammy and say, hey, Tammy, I know I'm sending you out property views. I'm not sure if you're able to see those all the time. In my head, I know that you saw it, right? But I'm not going to like point out the obvious. And then I'm going to say, hey, the last one that I sent you out included 2 homes, one in Tempe and one in Chandler. I'm going to be in both of those areas. Would you like me to do a video showing? Yes, Jeff.
Are those property alerts you're sending out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So essentially, it sounds like your strategy is everybody that's in your database, you're putting them on a property alert for their immediate neighborhood around them.
Yep.
Brilliant.
And I don't use the neighborhood name though. So like when you're putting in those property alerts, you can put in the name of a neighborhood. I find that to be ineffective because I'm sorry if this offends anyone, but I'm not. agents really suck at putting in the right neighborhood, or they don't put in the full name. And so it makes the search not the way it should be. So make sure you're using the map tool so you can actually draw the polygon around that neighborhood. So that way it doesn't matter if they put parcel 1, parcel 2, parcel 3, or if they put the whole neighborhood, it's going to grab all of those properties. And if someone's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, don't worry, stick around, I'm going to show you. So I can go back and I can see every single person who opened emails, who clicked on any links. I see a lot that are opened. I've only seen a few. Okay, this one right here. This, oh, no name. That came from a landing page. And the reason why landing pages do not have a spot for first name, last name. So the very first thing you want to do when you're seeing people as no name is you want to text them and ask them, hey, I would love to send some things. Can you just confirm your first and last name? And then go ahead and add them. All right, so that's day 1. That's the thing that you're going to do. Now, right here, you're going to see calls. kvCORE will give you a set of calls to make each day if you tell it to. So you don't have to guess who to call. It'll use its own algorithm to say, okay, these are people who are active. These are people who are opening things. This is a good list for you. Right here are tasks. Tasks could be 2 different things. When you're creating a drip campaign, you can add tasks on your part, like things that you want to do for that client, whether it's send them a CMA or wish them a happy birthday or call them and follow up after an open house when you met them, whatever it is. Those can put in there. You can also assign tasks for yourself. So anytime I talk to a client, okay, this is how I do it. Okay, so I'm gonna call the client. Maybe I'm calling Tammy to ask her about that. So I'm gonna go to Tammy's file by just clicking on her name. I'm going to add a note. So I'm going to click add a note. I'm going to put today's date, which is the 9th. And I'm going to say, you know, called and spoke, still working on relocating. Why is it that you can type until you get in front of people? Relocating, new job is set in Tempe, Arizona. Okay. I'm going to pin this to the top so that way it stays at the top no matter what her activity is. I'm going to add that note. And then also after I talk to her, I'm going to want to remind myself to follow up. So I'm going to click more options or more actions and add that task for myself. So I'm going to say, follow up, and then I'm going to set this task. Now, the cool thing about kvCORE is, one, on your dashboard, it's going to show. So let me go ahead and just add this fake task. You also get to decide what time of day you want to work or call them. You can put in some notes so that way you remember why you're following up and calling them. So it's going to show up on here. But then on the dashboard, now you'll see I have a task. And what's best yet, I have my calendar, my Google Calendar. You can attach your Google Calendar, or you can attach your Outlook calendar, and those tasks will now show up as appointments on your calendar. So the likelihood of you forgetting to follow up with leads is now gone. Okay. Now, let's get to what today's stuff was. So I want to talk about organizing your leads and making sure that you have them set up in different categories. So your people are going to be in your CRM. It's the little Ferris wheel. That's where all the people are. So when you go there, you're going to see all of your contacts. So these right here, these are my what are called saved filters. Okay. So when I set up a campaign, I can grab all these people because they all have this save filter. When I schedule out a mass email, I can go ahead and use this save filter. When I want to set a property alert, right? Because I set it up for my entire neighborhood, I can use this save filter. So that way I don't have to go and add each person one by one, because that is time consuming and you are not a $5 an hour employee. So you shouldn't be doing 5-hour work. So when you see all of your contacts, you'll see words italicized underneath. Those are the hashtags. If you want to filter certain people, let's say that you want to filter out all of the people who, you can use these contact statuses. This is the only thing you need to know about that. Sphere, prospect, new lead, are things that the system will do on your behalf based on their activity on the website. So when you put people in, they'll either go into Sphere or Prospect, okay? Sphere is you put them in. Prospect is they put themselves in. New lead is going to be someone who has either replied to something. Active lead is going to be people who are actively looking at properties. Even if it's just been like a couple times, they're going to show up as active leads. So right now, this person right here, they're an active lead because we've interacted quite a bit through correspondence through the kvCORE. Clients, I have to move them. So I would have to actually go to Helen's thing and click on client. And now the system's going to say, are you sure you want to make her a client? And I'm going to say, yes, I do. And it's going to go ahead and add them over. If you have them set up on campaigns, you see like for future touches, then know that those are okay. That's not going to be affected. Okay. Let me go back. Okay. So I don't typically sort people based on this just because some of it is not in my control. What I like to use is my contact details. Now, assigned users is going to be for people who have the kvCORE team platform. So you can actually sort all the leads that you've given to all the different members of your team if you have that team platform. I don't have it, so it's not going to let me do it. So I'm going to look at contact details. I can put all of my buyers that have a certain hashtag. Maybe it's all of my buyers that are looking in a specific part of the city, right? So maybe they're looking in Chandler, or maybe they're looking in Gilbert, or maybe whatever, okay? The reason why I'm going to do that is because when I see a brand new listing in Gilbert that's a beautiful home, obviously I want to be able to share that with everyone who is in my system who could possibly fit that home as like their home. Now, I will tell you this, kvCORE has made a few changes to how you can text people. You cannot send a mass text to people who have not opted in. Now, to opt in just means that they've answered a single text message from you. Okay, that's it. So when you're looking at people, if they have not opted in, there will be a message up at the top that says this lead has not opted in. They cannot receive mass text. Now, the system's not going to say you can't send it to them. It's not going to get to them. And it's also going to say you cannot send them a text within a campaign. So new leads, always text them and say, hey, I just wanted to reintroduce myself. My name is Jackie Durbin. I'm a real estate agent in Chandler, Arizona, and I'm here to answer any questions that you have. How long have you lived in Arizona? Something that's super easy, just so that way they answer. So now they've opted in. I know that sounds kind of like bait and switch, but it's the only way that I can do my job, and I like to make money. Okay. So I can, in this contact details, I can sort them by the type of lead they are. I can look by certain hashtags. So I can grab everyone who has a certain hashtag. I can grab people who are all buyers, but they do not have the hashtag closed, because now I have all of my buyers that are active and not the ones who have already closed on their homes. I can sort them based on the source of how they came into my system. So if you are getting, what is it, like Real Geeks, if you're getting Realtor, if you have a Zapier account and you're having leads coming in through Zapier, if you're doing Zillow or anything like that, you can actually sort your clients based on how they're coming into your website. Then you could even sort them even more. Like if I'm making calls, obviously I need people who have a phone number. So that way I'm not just making up a list that's not going to be super helpful. You can find people that you don't have an email for. You can find people that you don't have their address or do not have a home evaluation. You can go through and be like, okay, I want everyone that was created in the last week or the last month, because those are people that I want to reach back out to and rekindle that relationship with. The other thing that you can do is you can look for people based on behaviors. So these are people who have a search alert. So these are people I've already created a search alert for. I just want to reach out, make sure that they're getting the emails, ensure that the homes that I'm sending them are appropriate, and get to know, like, is the frequency okay? I can also look for all the buyers who I do not have search alerts for. If you were going to be purchasing a home in 2023, what would be 3 of the things that you would want to have? Have you all ever seen where people will like put on their social media, what are 3 things that you want in your next house? like real estate agents do that. The reason why they're doing that is because they're then going to use that data to create property alerts and squeeze pages. So that way they can put that on their social media and get more of those people. So that's like a great idea. Like you could say, hey, you know, what are 3 things that you would want in your dream house? And if someone says, I want acreage, I want a view and a gorgeous, you know, resort type pool, go to your kvCORE, create a multi-property squeeze page with those 3 things, and now put it there. Hey guys, you all said this is what you wanted. Click on these to see these 10 homes or 12 homes, or however many it is in the squeeze page. And now more people are going to be engaged on your website. Market reports are also really cool. Or you can look for people who don't have a campaign running. You can also contacts with the specific campaign. So you can look for those. People who have opted out for different things, people that have responded via text. Now I know I can send them a mass text. So you can do all of those things. Whenever you're finished, you click apply a filter. So let me do CE shop. So all of the hashtags will come up. You can grab other ones and you can say, do I want either or they have to have both. So you can make that distinction on your own. But I want both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and come down here and I'm going to click apply the filter. And what it's going to do is it's going to sort all of my leads and grab only the people who have one of those hashtags. Sometimes it'll say, oh, there are none. And it is. Just go back, do it again. So here's all the people, right? I have less than 250 because it's only one page. So what I can do now is I can say, save the filter, and I can name it. Whoops. Now you can choose to either pin this filter to the top like mine are, or you can have them hidden. Okay, it doesn't matter. I like to pin mine at the top. So let me go ahead and save it. And now those people are still going to be there, but I'm going to be able to see these up here. It's going to show up right there. So there's my last one. But let's say that I didn't say pin to the top. Where are they? Click the little gear. And now I can see all of the filters. So see, I had all the 72-hour agents because, you know, houses don't sell in 72 hours anymore. I can delete that saved filter, or I can click it, and now that link is going to be up at the top. The agents who are in my CRM, I can delete it or not. Arizona agents, I can do, these are the ones that are pinned, but if I want to delete one, I can go ahead and delete it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one, delete it. Then I hit save, and now that saved filter is gone. And if it was pinned at the top, it is now gone as well. All right. Any questions on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to do, Jackie, by the way, this is fabulous. Where's the recording going to be again?
The recording will live on the XSELL Training Facebook group, but it will also be on my YouTube channel. I'll make sure that you have a link to that, so that way you can have access to it.
Thank you. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create text campaigns that go out to all the people that I onboard in my organization for the first 90 days. Mm-hmm. What you said about the opt-in, that kind of tripped me up a little bit. So if I'm putting somebody in, if I'm creating a campaign and I'm associating it with a hashtag that says entire downline, let's say, mm-hmm. Or I'm sorry, 90-day onboarding, let's say. Yeah. What do I have to do to get them to opt into the very first message? That's the first question. And do I need a smart number to start doing this stuff?
No, you have your own smart number. So here's the thing about, so anyone who's curious about all of that. So there was a lot in that question. So I'm going to go through each one. Number one, every single person who's with EXP or anybody who has kvCORE, you have a smart number. Now, my smart number, and I find it by just clicking on my name. Here's my smart number right here. I did not purchase my own smart number. So what that means is that number is associated with every other EXP agent in Arizona that is in my MLS. Okay. So if I put this number on my sign and a consumer called it, they may not get me. It's going to go round robin to everybody. Okay. Now, if I have a lead who is in my database and they call this number, then it comes to me. If the person's in my database and they text that number, it comes to me because it shows that I have ownership of them. Now, what happens if it's in 2 different agents? Because doesn't that happen sometimes? It's going to go round robin between the 2. So I always tell people, if that's a market that you're in where like clients really aren't so loyal, which they're not, that's a good investment. If you're investing something in your business, having your own smart number is good. However, I give clients my own cell phone number. So I might initiate the conversation using my smart number through text messages through there, but then I move everything over to my regular phone number. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess where I'm confused is if they have to opt in, can you even send them a first text the first time?
You can. So for example, so like Helen, let me go to Helen, because she is attached to a campaign. And she texted me back. So I sent her one text that just said, "Hey Helen, it's Jackie with CE Shop. Want to reach out, blah, 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 help you and think, is this the best number to reach you?" So I sent her that message. She replied. So then now she has changed from an active lead to well, that was me doing that. She went from active lead to being able to inbound SMS. So the moment she replied to this initial email or this initial text, I was able to now attach her to a campaign. So for people who are in your downline, if you have a smart number, I would just copy paste a text message, like even like from your notes or whatever, and just say, "Hey, it's Coach Jeff. I want you to know that I have 2 ways for you to get a hold of me. This smart number, and then also my primary phone number, which is this. Please reply yes that you received this message." So you have to give them a call to action. Then as soon as they do that, then you can go ahead and add that campaign to all of them. And you can add it to them all at one time.
Did you get that, Bella? I think I got it.
I got it. So like let's say, for example, like these people right here. Okay. So the CE Shop people. So inside of your database, obviously, however you have people organized, okay, so like downline or whatever. So you create that saved filter. Anytime you add new people, as long as that hashtag is associated with that person, they're going to automatically be added to that saved filter. Okay. So what you'll do is like you'll grab all of them. Okay. Once you've sent that initial text, go to more actions, and then you can add the campaign all at one time. Or let's say, you have like 10 new people this week that have joined your organization. So you text them that generic email, or not, I don't want to say generic, but like the first step text that says, I have 2 ways to get a hold of me. This phone number, you can text on this and I will always get your message. Or for a prompt or response, call or text my primary phone number. Reply yes that you received this message. And then the moment they say yes, you just add the campaign.
Okay.
So what I would do in that sense is in the campaign, I would remove the hashtag if the hashtag is the trigger. So like when you go into marketing, and I apologize if some people, this is your very first like look at kvCORE, you are getting water from a fire hose, but I always do Q&A at the last half. So smart campaigns, and just to explain smart campaigns are the computer's way of interacting with people who either they're not sold on you yet, or you're trying to continue to foster the relationship. Once you've made a relationship with the people, take them off the campaigns as far as consumers go. Okay.
Right.
And the reason why is because you can never anticipate what they're going to ask. And there's no way to build the perfect campaign. Lots of people say that I have the perfect campaign. It's got 30% conversion rate. Spend $19.95 and get the copy. No, it's not. It's conversion rate for them based on their market and how their clients interact with them. I'm not a luxury agent. My campaign would not work for someone who's in New York selling like high rises. The people would be like, what the hell? This is the biggest redneck I've ever heard from. Okay. So just know that you have to make sure the campaign sounds like you. But when you create one, you create a trigger. Okay. You can attach campaigns to specific clients, or you can tell the system, hey, anytime I have a client that fits this category, start this. So Jeff's talking about, building your downline, right? Because revenue share, hello, that's most of the reason why we're all here, right? We want to get off the hamster wheel. So you get to say, when do you want this to occur? So for the most part, I use hashtags to trigger them. But because of this new thing where you can't set people up on a text campaign, or you can, they just won't get the text until they've opted in. So I've kind of gone away from that hashtag. And I'll add like a different trigger that I know is never going to trigger, if that makes sense. Okay. Or I may just do this hashtag, but then change it up some. So like if it's for downline, if I have people hashtag downline, I'm going to say downline start. So that way it doesn't actually trigger the campaign to start, because the last thing you want to do is be like, oh crap, they didn't get the first 3 text messages. Now let me restart the campaign and now they're getting the emails again. It just doesn't look super professional. So this is a way to kind of avoid any of that.
This is great. So I think I understand. So essentially, once you bring somebody in, let's say into my organization, I send them that text, that individual text to get them to opt in. They're going to be responding to that generic number through the system, but the system's going to know that I'm texting them that, right? So that opts them in.
Yes. And guys, honestly, like once you're building an organization, it is so important to build some type of campaign for onboarding. Okay. It's a lot of steps. There's a lot of stuff. And honestly, the campaign, you don't have to have all the answers. It's just the task just to remember to reach out to them, because it is overwhelming when you get 30 emails in a day. And I really hope that they've changed that in the 3 years that I've been here. But like, it's a lot and it's scary and there's a lot of technology. So like if you're building a team, we have one for all of our team members. I think it's called New Team. Oh, yep. New to EXP from another brokerage. Let me go ahead and click this one. It should show up. Oh, of course it's not going to. Come on now. New to EXP. My wireless computer is not wanting to be wireless. Brand new agent. So here is an entire campaign. Okay. It's all emails and there's 10 of them. So I didn't have to worry about sending them the initial text to get them going. So that's another option, Jeff, if you want to. But like for this one, it's going to show you every single email that goes out. So I can see that these are the emails that go out. Here's all of our branding. We're so excited to have you. Here's a video, because I always walk them through like the email steps. So like I just link a video that I've created. This one's how to do their ICA. So to fill out that independent contractor application. I always have a call to action like, hey, if you have any questions, reach out. But it goes through every single bit of advice. So like, here's all of our information. Here's the link to our YouTube channel. It's everything that they could possibly need, but you can make this 100% customized. A lot of people don't know that you can do this. So this is what's called an advanced editor. It's just a type of template that you can make where you can really create that branding. A lot of people use Constant Contact, which is a great tool. There may be some benefits to that this one doesn't do. Maybe it does a little bit better as far as like sending out text and things like that. But you can create all of these newsletters in here. And then each of these are all click buttons that take people directly where you want them to go. So this is kind of what Jeff was talking about. This is a campaign.
Can I ask you a sidebar on that? I'm sorry, I'm just getting in here.
No, you are totally fine. Oh my God, Brad, where are you from? You sound like you're my people.
Yes, South Carolina.
I knew it was a Carolina. Okay, go ahead.
Where are you?
Well, I'm originally from Kentucky. Please don't tell me that you're not a Gamecock fan, are you?
No, I'm an AM fan.
Okay, good. If you were a Gamecock fan, I was gonna like exit you from the meeting, but so I'm.
Well, they are my number 2. They are my number 2.
No, don't tell me that. Okay, go ahead.
Question. Could you slide back down to that thing that you sent out for D team or whatever?
Yeah.
Who gets that?
These are to all of our agents who joined our team or our organization.
I haven't gotten that.
Oh, you're not with me in Arizona. Are you?
I'm with XSELL. That's all I know.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. So, yep, that totally makes sense. So XSELL is separate from my traditional team.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That was a sidebar.
That's okay. No worries. I was like, wait a minute, Brad. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But I would like to talk to you after this if you have some time.
Yeah, I can probably make some time. It may not be right after this because I have an appointment right at noon.
Okay,
But
that's
let me put my number. I'm gonna put my number in the chat.
okay.
This is my personal phone number, guys.
Where's
So
the
469-6177.
where's the chat?
Down at the bottom of the Zoom, there should be. It looks kind of like a little speech bubble.
I don't see it.
Well, do you have a pen handy and I can
Oh,
just see you?
yeah, I do. Go ahead.
Okay, it's 480
Okay.
469
Okay.
6177.
All right. Thanks. Sorry, guys.
No, you're totally fine, Brad. I hear your apology. I do not accept it, nor is it needed.
All right. Thank
We
you.
are all learning. All right, what else, guys? Everybody else is just on brain. They're like, holy crap, that was a lot.
So I guess again, Jackie, do you think in my situation, do I need a smart number as long as I'm doing the opt-ins with everybody?
I wouldn't. The only time I use a smart number is that, like, there was a time in Arizona that text messages were not going through kvCORE at all. And it's because the smart number was being recognized as a spam number. Now they have fixed it since then. That was the only time that I considered getting my own, just because I don't want other people to screw up my stuff going out.
Right.
And I don't think it's that expensive. I think it's maybe like $20 a month, which some people may be like, damn, 20 a month, I can't do that. But 20 a month for my own number, I mean, I don't think it would be that bad.
Yeah. Okay. That's funny. The other thing that I was doing incorrectly is I was going to the top of my dashboard where it says 99 plus. And I was clicking on that check mark instead of going down to the dashboard where it says calls and tasks. And that's literally how I was looking at who I should call.
Oh, yeah. And okay, so let me show you all. So, you know how I told you, like, hey, you can grab these call people? The way that you set that up, because mine right now says nobody, because I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody. You go to your profile, which is over here right underneath your name. And yes, my name is Mary Jacqueline. The only person who gets to call me that is my mother. So that's why it says Jackie. But when I go to my profile, I can tell the system how many people I want to call by going to my settings, or I can go right down here where it says daily call task creation. So this is going to say, okay, who are the types of clients that I want to call? Who's my ideal client that I want to call? And how many people do I want to call? And what time do I want to get the note or the email from kvCORE to say, hey, call your people? So I can edit this. I can say, okay, I want these on, that's the reason why, right? So right now I'm saying I'm only calling people on the weekends. That's why it shows no calls right now, okay? If I want to only call people during the week because I'm doing open houses on the weekend, then that's totally fine. You can flip-flop those. Statuses to generate. No, I did not remember all these. You click this button and then they all show up and you can just click on whichever ones you want. If I don't want to call new leads, all I have to do is hit X and it goes away. If I made a mistake and I want to add them back, I just click that and now they're added. I can say how many calls do I want to call a day. Now, obviously, you should be tracking some of that. Like, how many dials do I have to make before someone actually picks up the phone? Okay, because it's all a numbers game. How many calls do I have to make before someone picks up? How many people have to pick up before I actually get an appointment or a showing request or something, right? So once you figured out that magic number, then put in however many people. Okay, now if you put in 250 and you only have 5 people in your database, that's not really going to work. Okay, so one thing that I always suggest is on your business cards when you design it. So this is my business card that I send out to people. On the back, I have my QR code. My QR code goes directly to my website. So what that does is it helps people to be able to put it in there. Now, one of the reasons I did that is because my website is maryjacquelinewilsondurban.exprealty.com. That's a lot of letters. Nobody has time to do all that. And I mean, the print would be teeny tiny to put it on a business card. So I use the QR code. You can also put, if you're like, hey, I don't have money to go buy business cards, make the QR code and you can do it in Canva for free. And make it your screen wallpaper on your phone. So when you meet somebody new, okay, scan my QR code right here. All you got to do is tap your phone and now it shows up. So those are just like, I always tell, don't spend money until you start making money, but obviously find an avenue to be able to do the same thing that just doesn't cost anything. So if you don't have money for business cards, Make it your phone screen. When you go to the grocery store, talk to the person who is at the deli counter. Tell them that you are a real estate agent, that you'd love for them to check out your brand new website that was just created. Jackie, I didn't just create a website. Yes, you did. It's a white lie. It's okay. God doesn't care. Well, he probably does, but he'll forgive you. I promise. Okay. He's got bigger fish to fry right now. So, but always make sure, like, real estate, what I have learned, it's not about how smart you are, how much stuff you know. It's just being willing to be friendly to people. They already know 10 real estate agents. They're not going to pick you because you've sold 100 houses. They're going to pick you because they like your personality. So just let it show a little bit. Don't scare them. But those are just a few little tips. But like whatever number I put on here, it's going to give me that many people. And then I'm going to pick the time that I can take an email. I can't start my day until 9 because I drop my son off at school. Okay. So I don't get the email from them until 9. I hit save changes. Okay. Everything's been saved. I'm going to go to my dashboard and I should have 250 calls in my calls right now because I just changed it up. Okay. I'm not a liar. Let's go ahead and refresh this. Do, 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 do. Holy crap, my computer's been going so slow. Okay, so my calls should show up here. It's not going to right now because it's going to be annoying. It also shows up in your mobile app. If you have not downloaded the kvCORE mobile app, I encourage you to because there's a dialer in there. Now, even though you're using your cell phone, because you're inside of the app, it will track your calls. So it will show up there like, hey, you called this lead on this day. That's another way to be able to keep track of who am I calling, who am I talking to. Now, you still want to add your notes, and you can do that while you're talking to them. You just put it on speakerphone, type the notes as they're talking. But
I got another.
Yes.
Sorry, Jackie.
No, you're fine.
Back to the whole mapping around the people in your database to send them a property alert for that neighborhood.
Yep.
If you put the address of the prospect or client into your CRM, does kvCORE know exactly then where that person is on the map? No.
No, and let me get into my husband's kvCORE because that's how we use his. Hang on. Let me see. Hang on.
So you have to kind of go to maybe the tax records or something, find out where they're at, and then alt tab over to kvCORE and.
Yes. So I am blessed in that I'm in Arizona. And so our title reps have the ability to get me all the data I want for any neighborhood I want. So I don't have to go out and get anything. All I have to do is send an email and I get it. Hang on. Hang on just a second. Okay, go away. All right. Let me go to my husband's. Okay. So, for example, I'm going to grab all the people who live in our neighborhood of Sun Groves. I don't know where their actual address is. I may have it in here just because they gave it to me from title. But one thing that I can do is I can set up this property alert for everybody who has this hashtag of Sun Groves. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. This is going to start showing up, but I can go over to I think it's in marketing, maybe marketing or maybe lead gen. I always go to the wrong spot. Nope. Okay. I was right. So it's in marketing. See right here where it says search alerts. This is the way that you can add a property search alert to an entire group with one click. So I'm going to go learn more. And you'll notice it's already in here. So here's everyone who lives in Sun Groves. I used a polygon and this goes out every month. So this is how you would create it. You go create an alert. For who? The people with this hashtag. Now, I do not use the city or state. You can, or not city or state, sorry, city or county or zip. I use the map on the tool. So that way I can actually pinpoint exactly where this neighborhood is. Once I've done that, I'm not doing anything for keywords because keywords are stupid. It always messes it up. Like everybody here wants an RV gate. An RV gate is not a keyword that's recognized. So it doesn't do what I want it to do. Options would be, I usually pick just listed. because I don't want them to get the same house that's been on the market for 3 months because it's listed or like it's not ready to be sold. Then I do nothing else other than saying, send this out once a month. Because honestly, our market, we're not getting new listings every single day. So I don't need to send it out any more frequent. And then if they have a spouse, you can add the spouse on an individual one. On this one, this is you getting it if you want to. Unless you never get anybody emailed to you, don't put your name in there. Okay. And then you add the alert. So every single month, everyone in this group gets property alerts. Laura, did you get my text? And then this one is the Morning Sun Farms people. So that's our second neighborhood that we have.
And you're getting the emails from premium data from the title company?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I don't get the data for every single person, right? And some of it's wrong. But again, it's a numbers. I don't care. I don't care who. I don't know. And people will send you nasty grams. They love to send nasty grams. I don't pay attention to them either. So the other thing that I do is I set them up on a market report. Now you can set a market report through a squeeze page. They're not very good. You know where my wallet is. I do. Okay. You're the best. I am. You are. My assistant's like, yes, I am. Okay. So when I go to my CRM, I'm going to grab my Morning Sun Farms people. So I'll grab, now this is a daunting task, okay? Because you have to do this single for every single person, okay? Yes. All right, so I grab a person. I go over to what I call their index card. It's basically their profile page. And I'm going to say, hey, I want to, and see, some people don't have their emails on there anymore. So right over here on the right-hand side, it says market report. Now, if you are able to put in the whole neighborhood, do that. If not, put in their zip code. Okay. Then I set it for a frequency of 28 days. See how this person is not opted in? That's the message that you get. Okay. You can still send them emails though. So this is the report that will be sent to them, and it's every single month. This is really cool. Get ready. If you haven't seen it, you're going to be like, wow, that looks nice. Okay, so it's going to be branded for them. So it will say their name on there. It's got all of the brokerage information on there. There's pictures. There's all kinds of stuff that it pulls. So here's their name, right? Here's your market report. There are currently 3 active listings. One of them is new. We've had 0 price reductions in the last 30 days, and this is the average sale price or list price. In the last 30 days, there were 2 homes that sold, and this was the sale price. This was the average price per square foot. So they can already see, okay, last month, this was the average sales price, but this is what they're listed at. That's a conversation starter. So now I have something that I can specifically talk to them about that is required of someone who has experience as being, well, why is the average list price $460 if it was just showing $370? Does that mean my house is worth $100,000 more? Probably not, seller, but good try. Okay. It's also going to show them the market for list price and how is that trending. So it's trending up. And then what's the trend for listings? Like how many active listings that there are. We had a dip in June. The reason why? Lots of people are on vacation. Nobody's thinking about selling their house. They're enjoying their summer vacation. Here's the highest sold. You can see a couple of the pictures. You can also see that they gave out 10,000 in seller concessions. You can also see the 2 that were recently sold and kind of compare apples to apples. Okay. Up here, they're able to chat with me. If they give a question, it goes into my kvCORE. If they want to do a search, they can do that. They can also look up their home. So a lot of lenders have HomeBot. I don't know if you've seen HomeBot or not, where it kind of gives you like an indication of your home and stuff. This is trying to be like HomeBot. It's hit or miss. So this is the picture of their home. This is where it is in reference in the neighborhood. This is what an estimated value is of your home, right? That doesn't mean that's what it's going to sell for. Do you have any questions? I'm giving them independent valuations are not local experts. Don't walk through your home, verify your data, or account for a condition. I do. Ask me how I would price your home in today's market. There's a hello. That's amazing. I wish this was up here though, because that kind of bothers me that like there's this whole space, but that's okay. It tells them what their home, like what they're actually do on their mortgage. Okay. Obviously now we're adding in the Success Lending since EXP owns Success Lending, right? So we've got that information in there. They can go ahead and get pre-approved right now. Hello. I love that. That's a nice thing, right? And then it's going to compare their neighborhood to the rest of that city. So it's going to show them, okay, this neighborhood is in Santan Valley. This is the average list price for Santan Valley. This is how many price reductions we've had. This is how many active listings. This is how many that are new. Then it's also got maintenance tips. So, hey, guess what? You own a home. These are the things you should do in the summer. Oh, you're thinking about, or you've got some painting issues. Hey, Chris and Jackie Durbin, can you give me some painter recommendations? There's so much stuff on here, but I don't think enough agents are using it the way that would be the best beneficial, which is sending it out to every single person for their neighborhood. It eliminates any type of circle marketing cost. So you don't have to worry about paying all those postcards and stuff.
Impressive.
Right? I love hearing that.
Jackie, can I ask a quick question?
Oh, yes, yes. Hang on just a second. Yes, Brock, you are exactly right. So Brock brought up a great point. For future reference, the QR code for your kvCORE is under the website manager, and it's an embed code. So that way you don't have to recreate anything if you're like, I don't know how to do that. Thank you so much, Brock. Yes, ma'am.
So just to be clear, so when you are doing, so when the title agency gives you a list of everybody, so I live in Countryside Estates, I'm kind of around the corner from you.
Yeah.
So if they give me a list of all those people who live in my community, right, I can set them up on a market report, but
as you have their email.
As long as I have their email, but if they haven't, so even if they're completely new, right, and they haven't, I have had no communication with them, it's only after they've responded that I can continue to have a conversation. Or
so the market reports, there's no conversation needed. They don't have to opt into anything to get an email. The opting in is only on text. So like, let's say that, okay, so we'll use your neighborhood. Okay. Let's say that you're going to do an open house, or you have a new listing and you want to let everyone in the neighborhood know, like, hey, use this link below to see our newest listing in the neighborhood. You cannot send out that mass text in that way until you've sent them an individual. So what I would do is I would grab all of them. Okay. So here's my group, right? I would go to the first person. As long as I can send them a text. Nope, no valid phone number. So I click next and I go to the next one. The next one does. So what I would do is I'm going to look. Nope, they've already opted in, so I'm totally fine. Oh, no, they haven't. Okay, sorry. So I'm going to go send a text. I'm going to drop the MLS ID, whatever it is. Okay. It'll pull up the address, click send that link, and then put a message. Use the link below to see our newest listing in whatever name of your neighborhood it is. Once they click on it, and then also ask a call to action. So ask them a question. Did the link work? Now, you may get some unsolicited advice sometimes from people when you send it to them, like, F off, or blah, 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 or how did you get my number? And I want to be like, you are not a Kardashian. It is super easy to get your phone number. Like, come off of it. I'm sorry that I was trying to be helpful and make money. Like, do you fuss at the guy at the grocery store that puts your stuff in the bag too? Like, just me. Got it. So you just have to not take it personal. So what I find is when I send out emails, it's typically a little bit better. It's more well received because it doesn't seem as aggressive. When I text them stuff, especially when I call them, sometimes people get upset. That's why I send them all this email marketing, and then I monitor who's opening it and who's clicking on it. So that way I'm only calling people who probably want to call from me or would accept a call from me.
Got it. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, this was awesome. Okay. So obviously, yes, I'm in Arizona. I can help you with anything locally. But I'm also a kvCORE coach. So any questions that you have regarding kvCORE, by all means, ask me. If you're in the Excel group, Brad, if you're in the Excel group, post any questions that you have about kvCORE on that Facebook page, and I will answer them just as quickly as I can. And if I have a video showing you how to do it, I will always send that out. If you're not in the XSELL training program, but you're kind of at you're with Chuck and Angela, any other way, or however you found this group, connect with me. My phone number's in the chat, and I'll be willing to help you out. So
Thank you so much. Yeah.
No problem. I hope you all have an awesome day.
Thanks again.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you, Jackie.